Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Off 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Up 'em.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros. Is Anthony Yarde a serious threat to Artur Beterbiev? Anthony Yarde fought last night and he got a stoppage and said he's ready for Artur Beterbiev. We watched the fight. I'll be honest, I didn't know his opponent and I can't remember the name of his opponent at this particular point in time, but I will look that up. Conspiracy G, what was your reaction to the fight? And do you think Anthony Yarde is a serious threat to beat Artur Beterbiev?
All right, so my reactions to Anthony Yarde's fight last night was the dude that he was fighting against really didn't want to fight. You know, like that. Yo, when he went down, my man did not want to get up, knowing he could have got up, and I was just like, all right, yo, this dude. I'm not saying like he took a dive, but it's not like Anthony Yarde was facing somebody that really came to win. You know, but
I said, just to jump in real quick, G, I apologize. It said the guy's name is Stefani Koikov. It's sound
like food. Yeah. I don't know. Sound like food.
Stefani
food. All right. You know what I mean? some phony food. You know what I mean? So like, but I mean, hey man, Anthony Yarde, I mean, he looked all right, you know, like he was defensively sound, he was, you know, crisp with his shots. Like I liked his punch placement, but is he a threat for Artur Beterbiev? I mean, maybe it's going to be a tough one for him, you know. But it all depends, man. Like the style that he showed last night, I don't think is the ideal style for Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev is going to bring it to him, so. The fact that like Yarde just like walks towards his prey like that, you can't do that with a Beterbiev. You know what I'm saying? It's like what hunter goes straight to a bear and gives the bear opportunity to just violate him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's gonna have to find a way to like be more like sticking and moving. And I know he likes to like plant his feet, stay in the pocket, and just be real defensive. I just don't know how much that's going to work, but I still think he is a serious threat in that division. You know, it's really hard I just don't see him winning though. So is he a serious threat? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see him beating Artur Beterbiev. You know what I mean?
All right, TBE.
You're on mute.
All right. Anthony Yarde, Lions in the camp, man. Lions in the camp. But let me tell you something. I saw this man lose to a jab. Beterbiev is an animal. Beterbiev is a fish out of water, man. And he's surviving, you know. Beterbiev is built different. I don't know if Yarde is going to be able to train for that type of
Hold on. Did you just say Beterbiev is a fish out of water?
Yeah, but he built different. He's you know, I just saw that.
He's a fish out of water, but he's built different, G.
I saw Black Panther 2 last night. He's El Kukulkan, you feel me? Yeah, you gotta be built different, Anthony. You gotta be really ready for this challenge right here. Like, you lost to a jab. Like, when I watched that fight, I'm like, is this man really losing to a jab? And he lost to a jab. And that was like a year and a half ago. He bounced back. But I'm like, Beterbiev is more than a jab. He's a monster. He's really, really about that life when it comes to this boxing game. I don't know if Yarde can really take the fight to him. And Yarde, maybe this be your lesson. This is the competitiveness you need to understand that you're going up against, know what you have to bring to the table. Because you lost to a jab. And I can't. It's like when you look, the fights were playing in my mind, and he lost to a jab.
All right, Ned, make perspective. You're saying he lost to a jab.
You're talking about the Lennon Arthur fight, right?
Nah, I thought you were talking about the Kovalev fight.
He's talking about Lennon Arthur.
Lennon Arthur, like Kovalev, I get it. You tied out. You blew the tank on Kovalev. But Lennon, you lost to a jab. Like my brother.
So TBE, just to add some perspective, that Lennon Arthur fight, I know he lost like 2 or 3 relatives to COVID. He was going through like a lot at that time. And I think like people don't recognize it, particularly fighters, because fighters think that like, you know, you're a fighter. Like when you're young, right? So like Nas has this song on his.
Oh, he meant jab, like meaning because Arthur only threw jab.
Yeah. He only threw jab, bro.
Like, when he fought Kovalev, and then Kovalev just like clipped him in the end, and he just dropped. But I was like, that's exhaustion. Yeah, that don't count. You know what I'm saying?
He lost from exhaustion the first fight. Cool. You got to know yourself, your motor as a fighter.
Yeah, yo. So, but listen to this, right? I get what you're saying with the Lennon Arthur in the first fight, but he had a lot going into that first fight. Like he lost like a lot of relatives within a short span of time. And like what I was trying to explain about the mentality of a fighter is like when you're young, you think like you're invincible. I was getting to like the Nas song "Once a Man, Twice a Child" on like his album. We talked about like, you know, when you're a baby, you need people to take care of you. Then when you're a young man, you feel invincible, you feel strong, you can dunk, you can take punches, you can do all types of stuff. And then when you get old, you need someone to take care of you again. So it's like once a man, twice a child. But when you're in that invincible state, you don't realize your mortality. You don't realize like you're human. So you don't want to take a step back. You don't. So he gets in the ring, and he's fighting Lennon Arthur, and he could have trained, he could have done everything in the gym, but he's still not all the way himself. So like what you're saying, like he lost to a jab, like I hear you, but I'm just saying to you that there were a lot of other things going on in his life that you probably wouldn't see, that he probably couldn't even see, just because he's still in that state where he feels invincible. He feels like I'm a fighter, I'm big, I'm strong, I can take everything. But really, sometimes things show up in a manner in which you don't realize, you don't recognize. So I'm just pointing out TBE that, you know, that probably wouldn't be the best fight to judge him on. But
and wasn't that fight a draw?
No,
he lost a close decision. I actually thought he won though. I
think I had it a draw. Like that was a close fight.
Yeah, it was a close fight. I scored it for Anthony Yarde.
But he avenged that loss.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
But I'm just saying, in that moment, it just shows you it's his mind ready to go up against a Beterbiev at this point in his career. And I'm not gonna say take the easy route. No, if you want to challenge yourself, challenge yourself. But Beterbiev is an animal. Beterbiev's built different. Like I don't think anybody's seen Beterbiev right now. Like, I don't even think it's
he have the AJ treatment, dog. You about to start talking about his back.
He saw his back. I was about to say he was looking at Beterbiev's back.
Beterbiev comes in there and he knows he got to get the job done. He's getting the job done. But Anthony Yarde, if you want to be a serious threat, you really got to study some tapes. You got to find this man's weaknesses, which I don't see any. Which, yes, he may be. I don't know what Beterbiev's tank is from the fights I've seen so far. Fighters take it to him, but he takes it back to the fighters, and he has a solid chin.
He has a solid tank, dog.
Yes,
knocks out everybody.
Yes, firepower. He's throwing nukes at you. I don't know what this man Beterbiev is built out of, but he is a tough fighter. And if you gotta just find this man's weaknesses, and you gotta capitalize off of that when you fight this man. Because if anything else, his jab gonna take you out. That's all I'm saying. First round. That's all I'm saying. But Anthony Yarde, I rock with you. Lions in the camp, baby.
First round.
We here.
Hey, this guy.
We here. But I'm just saying. It's hard to like see it happening.
All right, so we're talking about Artur Beterbiev. 18-0, 18 knockouts, 3 belts, 3 major titles, 1 major title away from being undisputed. But I do believe he is 38 years old. So we're talking about that guy. he's an animal. I think he's proven it time and time again. I remember watching a fight between him and Marcus Brown where he was cut. Marcus Brown was doing a decent job, and they feared that the fight was going to get stopped because of the cut. He just went out there and took Marcus Brown out. But Marcus Brown did do some good things in there. I think Anthony Yarde's a serious threat. You bring up the Kovalev fight and what he was able to do against Kovalev, and people bring up the fact that Tunde Ajayi told Anthony Yarde empty the tank, get him out of there. But they were fighting in Russia, and although you may believe Anthony Yarde was up on the scorecards, they had no way of knowing that. And Tunde believed in his fighter, and he wanted to get the dub. Now Yarde gassed out, and Kovalev was able to stop him. But I don't think there's any shame in that. He went for it. His whole life, he can say he went for it. Now, had he played it safe and gone to the scorecards and lost, he would be wondering what would have happened if I went for it. But he doesn't need to think about that because he went for it. And unfortunately, he came up short. But he had a good chance, and I'm not mad at that. The Lyndon Arthur fight, I scored that fight for Anthony Yarde. And people get mad at me. Remember, I don't do this for like approval. I do this because I just give my honest opinion. I feel like Anthony Yarde doesn't get, he's one of the rare fighters in the UK I feel like doesn't get support from the UK. Anthony Yarde. Like I see people in the UK support all the UK fighters, but for some reason Anthony Yarde doesn't get that support. I hear them talk about Joshua Buatsi. I keep hearing Joshua Buatsi can beat Anthony Yarde, and I said this from the beginning. I don't see what y'all see in Buatsi. Let me repeat that for you. I don't see what y'all see in Buatsi. I do not. I think Yarde would smoke Buatsi. Like I don't know what y'all see in him, but y'all were throwing y'all support behind him. And I'm thinking, you got this dude Anthony Yarde right here, who's from the UK and gets no love. And then you look at his story and what he endures, and I'm telling you, them judges showed him no love in that because I believe he beat Lyndon Arthur the first fight, but okay, the second fight he made sure he didn't even leave it to the judges. Got Lyndon Arthur out there. Do I think he's a serious threat to Artur Beterbiev? I do think he's a serious threat. Does that mean he's going to win? I don't want to make my predictions right now, but he's up against it. He's up against a guy who's knocked out 100% of the people he's been in the ring with, a guy who got 3 straps. So when people say, oh, I remember hearing this, oh, he's afraid to fight Joshua Buatsi. I used to hear that. I'm like, yo, do you watch boxing or do you watch like your favorite promoters fighters? Like, you know, because like this, like it's just like a gang. Like you don't like Frank Warren, so you don't like Frank Warren's fighters, and you fancy this guy's fighters over Frank Warren fighters. Because I'm like, just watching as a boxing fan and someone who's been watching boxing my entire life, I look at Anthony Yarde and I look at Buatsi and I think Yarde is the guy who I would invest in. Like if they were businesses or whatever, I would invest in Yarde. I've seen Yarde in there with better fights. I think Lyndon Arthur would probably smoke Buatsi, to be real with you. But like I just don't get it. So when I watch like Anthony Yarde and I think he's picking Beterbiev over Buatsi, and people like he's afraid of Buatsi. What? So the guy picks the man with 3 belts, the man with 100% KO ratio, and he's avoiding a fight with this dude. And then Buatsi can fight John Pascal, and he's worried about John Pascal on PEDs. I seen a 40-year-old man whoop John Pascal. Like, what a 45-year-old, what are we talking about? Like, this is stuff that gets me. So I don't think Lyndon Arthur gets the support he should. I'm not Lyndon Arthur. I don't think Anthony Yarde gets the support he should from the UK. Go ahead, bro.
Just for a point of correction, I had to look up my old score, and you was right. I had it 116, 112 for Anthony Yarde. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Like, so that's why I'm like, how the hell did Lyndon Arthur win? You know what I mean?
And Anthony Yarde got robbed. And I went out there, I said it, and people got mad and whatever. I think a lot of that, I don't know where it stems from, but I think a lot of it was the Yarde versus Buatsi stuff. But where's Buatsi? And who's he fighting? And where's Yarde right now? And who is Yarde about to fight? So I say this. I think he's a serious threat. I think he gave Kovalev a tough fight. I feel like he should have 2 wins over Lyndon Arthur because I don't think he lost the first fight. And he went through a lot going into that first fight that I just said. And then there was the talks about him getting rid of Tunde Ajayi and people trying to pin it on Tunde Ajayi. It seems like there are people who don't like Tunde. There are people who don't like Yarde. I just never, to me, they're the most talented fight. Anthony Yarde and his team, they're the most talented team in the UK that don't get the support that they should get, to me. But I hope that changes for this fight because you have a UK fighter fighting someone from Canada. So hopefully that y'all going to back him the way you back all the other UK fighters who stand no chance. And you know me, I be objective on the show. If it's a UK fighter fighting an American fighter, I'm going for the best fighter. I don't care.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Wasn't Lennox Lewis from Canada also? UK fans might be confused. They might think they can get.
But they accept Lennox. But they ain't accepting. They ain't accepting Anthony Yarde. So you're right. Maybe they still going to root for Beterbiev over him. But if it's just I've seen the fans from the UK root for a UK fighter who got no shot. Like I know this UK fighter's about to get smoked. I tell them this UK fighter's about to get smoked, and they're like, Kell Brook is going to get TC. In what world? David Averizian, whatever. Oh, he's going to get TC. You know what? I hope you're right. But reality tells me you dead wrong. They were like, Kell Brook's going to get. I see y'all do that. Now you got Anthony Yarde about to fight Artur Beterbiev, and Anthony Yarde is a really good fighter. He's athletic. He has good athleticism. He has good punching power. He has good speed. Like he's going to have a good chin, but that's a whole other story. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't win, but I just hope that this is the one fight where I see the UK support this man the way he deserves to be supported. I hope they support his team the way they deserve the support because they are taking on the toughest fight to me at 175. I don't think it's Bivol. I hear everybody giving Bivol love, calling me a Bivol hater. If I'm a Bivol hater, fine. But once again, I'm talking about the guy who I think is the best. So y'all think Bivol's the best? Cool. He got 1 belt and a victory over a little dude, and y'all want to act like that fight with Craig Richards or whatever didn't happen, where I'm not so sure he won that fight, Bivol, but okay, we will sweep that under the rug. I know Beterbiev has won every fight he's ever had professionally. No debate. No debate. I know that. So I think he's the best. So maybe you can call me a hater, but I think Anthony Yarde's about to go in there against the best. And I do think he's a serious threat. I do think that Beterbiev has to take him seriously. He can't take him lightly if he wants to become undisputed. But most importantly, I hope for once the UK gets behind Anthony Yarde. That's what I hope.
I don't know, man. Beterbiev show up playing Sweet Caroline, the Russian edition.
Please, I guarantee you still. You watch. There are going to be more people from the UK rooting for Beterbiev.
I already know.
Than rooting for Anthony Yarde. And you know how I said how I pick them. I pick them based on who I root for. So people sitting there, oh, you don't get every prediction right. You picked Sean Porter to beat TC because I was rooting for him. How do you not understand that? I could have easily said, I'm going to pick TC, but I'm rooting for Sean Porter. Nah, I'm not like that. I picked the fight I'm rooting for. So I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not making my prediction on this fight yet. We're going to see. If the UK get behind my man Anthony Yarde, I'm gonna just make my predictions how I make them, who I think is gonna win. But if the UK don't support Anthony Yarde, I might have to get behind them because I feel bad. Because I feel bad for the brother. I said, dang man, they support everyone in the UK. They got this dude in the UK. I'm sorry, I don't want to keep going over. They got this dude in the UK, James. He was fighting on the undercard. He fought like before Anthony Yarde did.
I didn't see that one.
I can't remember his name. Something James. 9-0. He was 9-0 with 0 knockouts. Mm-hmm. Fighting some dude like Humphreys or something. The dude was supposed to be a showcase for him. The dude knocked him down in like the second round. And it was a close fight. And I hear the fans, James, James, getting behind James and the commentary gassing up this dude, James, who's horrible, by the way. This dude fights with his chin up like this. He's fighting a shorter dude, got his chin up like this, getting hit, getting hurt by the dude. And I hear the crowd supporting him. Anthony Yarde can't get no love. Anthony Yarde can't get no love. But this dude, 9-0 with no knockouts, getting dropped, chin all the way up in the air, getting all the love. So I just hope, that's what I'm saying. I just hope that Anthony Yarde can get some support this fight. Lions in the camp. All right.
Lions in the camp.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you can listen to our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.